Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Texas Mortgage Boss Podcast. My name is James J. And today we are going to talk about the average number of offers being received on homes. Okay, so these are average number of offers people are receiving on their homes. And as you might imagine, it's pretty crazy. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So, what do you think the average number of offers sellers are receiving on their properties? Do you have any guess whatsoever? If you are in the market for a home, if you're not in the market for a home, you may know how crazy the market is because it's all over the news right now. All over the news. We have limited inventory. We have a lot of buyers. So, supply and demand. It's real simple. Low supply, high demand. What does that mean? Higher prices. That's it. Real simple. So I wanted to talk about show you guys some of the numbers as far as what people are or sellers are receiving, like a number of offers that sellers are receiving as it compares to previous years, because it's pretty crazy right now. I've heard of situations where sellers are getting 10 offers, 20 offers, 30 offers. That's in Texas. That's outside of Texas. So this is not just a Texas thing. This is happening all over the country right now. So it's pretty crazy, the seller's market that we are in. And make no mistake about it, it is a seller's market. Now, as a buyer, because I want buyers, I like buyers, there are things that you can do to still be able to differentiate yourself from another buyer. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Things that you might be able to do because it is a competitive market. Does not mean you can't get a home, but you have to get a little more creative with your offer with the market that we're in right now. It's still a great time to be a homeowner. And the reality is, as I always say, I really don't care what the interest rate is, right? It's still better than you renting and paying someone else's mortgage, whether you're in an apartment or renting a home, you are paying the mortgage for someone else. So let's get into the slide real quick. Today is going to be relatively short video today, but let's get into it. So I love looking at things historically. All right. So I like to look back at what things were a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, and then look at where we are right now. Okay. So this is dating back to December of 2017. So we're going back about 4 years at this point. So you can just kind of see, back then, this is December 2017, average offers was anywhere between 1.5 to 2. Fast forward, let's go to the end of 19. Okay, so this is January. Right here is January of 2019. So a couple years ago, people were on average getting anywhere between 2 to 2.5 offers. And there's going to be some people that were getting more offers, and then some people that may have been getting less. But this is just looking at an average number. This is the beginning of 2019. Let's look at the end of 2019. All right. This is December 2019. Again, pretty similar right around here. Between 2 and 2.5 offers per home. And then we've got 2020. Okay. So right when the pandemic hit, which is March of 2020, we're getting a little bit higher. All right. So we're now a little bit above 2.5 to 3 offers. This is in January of 2020. Okay. Now we know what happened with interest rates. Interest rates went straight down. Yeah, they did. I'm actually going to do another video about that, but interest rates went down in 2020. But let's look at the year. So this is January 2020. Let's just kind of go through and you can see what started happening. Now, logically speaking, this doesn't make sense that we're in a pandemic. People are losing jobs. Businesses are going out of business. And yet we've got a crazy real estate market in 2020. So as we got towards the end, which is right here, this is December of 2020, we were averaging about 3.5, anywhere between 3.5 to 4 offers. And this right here, February of 2021, this is just 2 months ago, we were above 4. Now, this again is just getting at averages. We know there are sellers that are getting way more than 4.5 offers, especially in the last 2 to 3 months. It's just been crazy. So one of the things that you can do in a situation where you are in a multiple offer situation, okay, one of the things that I highly recommend people do, get yourself pre-approved. Okay, it is completely different from getting a pre-qualification. Some sellers are in a position right now where they say, if you have a pre-qualification, we may not even want to deal with you, right? They may just say, we want somebody that's pre-approved. Okay, the difference is going to be documentation and underwriting. This is the big difference. Pre-qualification does not go through an underwriter. A pre-approval is, I have documentation, a real pre-approval. Let me be clear, because people tend to use these words interchangeably, and they're not. They're not the same thing. For me, a pre-approval means I have all your documentation, or at least the documentation that really matters, okay? So I can verify your income, and I've sent that into an underwriter to actually look at the file, look at what we've got documentation-wise, look at your income, look at your credit, and based on that, we can determine what the maximum amount that you could qualify for. Okay, that's a pre-approval. An underwriter's seen it. That to me is a pre-approval. You can send me documentation. I can review it. I can look at what you have on your application and compare that to the documentation that I have. And some loan officers might call that a pre-approval, but really a real pre-approval actually goes through underwriting. Okay, every mortgage company won't do it because they don't want to tie up the resources of an underwriter and the buyer never actually finds a home, or they change their mind, or whatever the case may be. Now, if you're under contract, we know, okay, now you're under contract. We are trying to get you into underwriting, get you out of underwriting, and get you closed. A pre-approval is done without an address. So we're doing this up front. But what happens is you sell that to the seller, your realtor sells that to the seller. Hey, I have a pre-approval. We can close quickly. A lot of sellers right now, they want to close quickly. They don't want to pay for anything. So as a seller, as a buyer, you are having to make offers, not asking for title, not asking for a home warranty, not asking them to pay survey. You can't ask for a thing, okay? But that pre-approval is a way to separate yourself from another buyer that has a pre-qualification. Make sure you know the difference. It is not the same thing. So you want to make sure, if you're in a multiple offer situation, get a pre-approval, like a real pre-approval, and you have to sell that to the seller and let them know we have the ability to close quickly. I've heard of sellers that don't even want to sell to veterans right now, which is just insane to me because I'm a veteran. But I've heard it. So you got to get real creative with your offer. There's some other things that you might be able to do where maybe you offer more on the option fee, right? So typically option fee might be, $20 a day, 10 days, $200, something along those lines. It varies. It's all negotiable. But one thing you could do is you can offer the seller more option fee, and that might be a way to separate your offer from another buyer's offer. So what do I mean? Maybe you offer the seller $2,000 as option money, right? It's a little bit of a gamble, but you got to be pretty sure. Let me make sure. You got to be sure that this is a home that you want. I've even heard of buyers waiving inspections, which to me is not a good idea at all. So I would not be waiving my inspection, but it's a competitive market. You got to get a little outside of the box. So if you have questions about this, make sure you send me a DM. Go check out texasmortgageboss.com. I've got some resources there. I'm continuing to add resources there, but I definitely want to continue to provide as much value as I can. If you got questions about this or anything else, you let me know. You have a great day. I'll catch you guys on the next video.